I may have overcrimped the hair today. She's huge. My nephew asked about his true origins, but we agreed to lie.
That is a great idea.
This story came October 19th, 2015. A quick background explanation. Jack, in quotations, fake name, is my boyfriend's 14-year-old nephew. I consider him to be my nephew because I've known him since the day he was born, even though I am not married to his uncle. Very common in my part of the world, so no comments on this, please. His mother was in her mid-20s when she desperately wanted a kid, so she either tricked or paid, her story is a bit unclear on that part, a coworker of hers into fathering a child. Jack really loves me because I am the cool aunt and often confides in me, especially since hitting his teenage years. What we know about Jack's biological father. He used to be a coworker / acquaintance, we're unsure, of my sister-in-law. He is Black, he's married with kids, and he may have been deported back to his home country or willingly returned there. That part is also unclear. Also, my sister-in-law is adamant that he didn't know he fathered her child and she never told anybody who it was. The fabricated lies about Jack's origin. Her mother fabricated a whole web of lies about Jack's conception because I guess she's ashamed of how he was conceived. She asked the few of us who she told the real story to tell those lies, mainly because Jack was conceived during a trip to Italy with an unknown Italian man she met on the beach, and they had a night of unbridled passion. She said that having a fictional Italian father would explain his curly hair and dark skin. Never mind that she got pregnant a whole 2 months after her trip to Italy. Also, Jack looks, well, Black. He's got very pronounced Black facial features and hair, as well as very dark skin. His mother is the whitest of white. Despite this, his mother is having him believe he is the product of 2 Caucasian persons and described him as looking Mediterranean. Recently, at a family reunion, Jack asked me if we could speak privately about some important matters that he was too afraid to ask his mom or his uncle because he feared that he may tattle to his mother. So, under the guise of going on an ice cream run, definitely not ice cream and rum, an ice cream run, I took him for a drive. He told me the other kids at his school were calling him the blank word, the derogatory word that I am absolutely never going to say. There's a lot of Black people around here. We are in the middle of nowhere in a very rural and white area. And that they were laughing at him when he told them that he is half Italian. He said he knows that he looks like a Black person and he's pretty sure his father was Black. He also told me he doesn't mind being half Black, nor does he care about knowing his father. He said he's tired of the uneven buzz cut his mom gave him ever since he was a kid because she was unable to style his hair and would like to experiment with other hairstyles, like those that he sees on Black people on TV. He also told me he likes hip hop, but his mother doesn't want him to listen to it because she doesn't want him to catch mannerism associated with rappers. I just don't understand why she's trying to hide all. He's gonna find out his roots eventually. Instead, she has him listening to classic rock and 90s alternative, basically her preferred style of music. He also said they learned about slavery in school and he would like to know more about the history of his people. What I heard when talking with him was a teenage boy who wants to belong somewhere but hasn't found that place because he looks different. All his life he's been told he's someone he isn't, being made fun of or rejected for pretending to be the person he isn't. He's afraid of looking for the truth since he fears his mother's reaction. He fears she might hate him if he says he's Black because then he would be something she tried to avoid his whole life. I didn't tell him the story. I said that we would try to help him, but didn't make him any promises. I did give him a memory stick with my favorite hip hop and reggae album and a huge pair of headphones, which he wears 24/7 now. They are fashionable. I talked about what Jake told me with my boyfriend. We both agreed his sister is being ridiculous, and he had a lengthy conversation about it with her. She flatly told him that Jake is not black, he's half Italian, end of story. She doesn't want to hear another peep about it, or she will forbid us from talking to him. I don't care. He's got Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so do I. She's barely able to send an email. The grandparents don't want to get involved. They said they side with their daughter since she knows what's best for her son. I have talked about the situation with my supervisor at work. We have a nice relationship beyond work, and she's from Africa as well as her husband. She said if I wanted, I could take my nephew with me for a day and meet her and her husband and their kids. Her husband offered to give him a crash course, Black Hair for Men 101, and talk with him about important, quote, black man things that my boyfriend might not have known, such as ingrown facial hair. Their twins are the same age as Jake. Is it Jake or Jack? She put Jack in the beginning, but then she's writing Jake now later on. So we'll stick with Jack since that's the first one she wrote. And they like the same thing, so he could make friends beyond his school. My boyfriend agreed that it's an excellent idea, but we're reluctant to break his sister's orders. We feel this could backfire and that Jack himself would be punished for our actions. I feel like I should tell him the truth about his origins and take on the offer to meet my supervisor's family so he could get some positive role models that he can relate to. Oh, this is sticky. As I say, I am not qualified to handle this. This is out of my realm of expertise, okay? But you know who always has something to say? The people of Reddit. Let's see some of the comments. First comment, could you tell him that since no one knows his biological father's family history, he could be black and just embrace that culture if it feels right? OP responded and said, I didn't explicitly tell him his father was black because the kid is not stupid and knows pretty well what he looks like. I did, however, tell him that if something looks like a duck and quacks like a duck and acts like a duck, then it's probably a duck. Wink, wink. Next comment. Yeah, I think the kids are only going to figure it out more and more. I really don't have any advice since this is way out of my league. Not alone. I wish the best for him and good luck to you guys. OP said, yeah, he told me that he was always a bit suspicious of his Italian origin. He said that even though he's at peace with who he is, he's afraid his mother will never love him for what he really is. Oh, that's really heartbreaking. I feel like that just makes life and adolescence so complicated. For no reason when it doesn't have to be. Adolescence is confusing enough. All the transitions, everything. Ugh, not fun years necessarily. Next question, are you close to his mom? OP said, I am not close at all to her. My boyfriend is really close to his sister, but each time he tries to talk to her about it, she either hangs up or just leaves the room. If he pushes the matter, she gets angry, yells at him, then complains to her parents, who in turn call my boyfriend to remind him how bad of a brother he is for tormenting his sister, and that as a mother, she's the only one who knows what is best for her son. I believe the grandparents are happy to shove their heads in the sand regarding the subject, since it means they can continue to tell the romantic story of their half-Italian grandson instead of the more dirty story of a mixed-race grandson conceived in deceit or in exchange for money. I think there's a strong racist undertone to the whole story. We have our first update, so let's see what happens. It came 1 week later. We're now at October 26th. 2015. After a discussion with my boyfriend, we agreed to invite his nephew for the weekend, set him straight about his origins, and have him meet my supervisor's family. Is it origin? I'm now thinking I've said this wrong the whole time.
Origins.
Oh, we're correct. My boyfriend called his sister last week and told her that we would take Jack for a weekend in the city. This happens often, so she wasn't suspicious. So last Friday, I picked up Jack from school and we drove back home. We talked about music. He loved what I gave him on the memory card, school, girls, etc. During dinner, my boyfriend told him we had a discussion about what he said to me during the family reunion. He said we had a long thought about it. We weighed the pros and cons and decided we would tell him the truth about his story, or at least what we know. Basically, we told him that yes, his dad was black, so that makes him half black, and no, he was not conceived in Italy because her mom got pregnant 2 months after her trip. We said that we were telling him despite his mom's direct order because we feel it's not okay to lie about his origins. I told him about my supervisor's family and their offer. He said he wanted to meet them. So on Saturday morning, we drove to the mall and met them there. It was an instant hit with the twins, and after a couple hours, they acted like they had been best friends forever. We all had lunch together, then drove them to the park near my supervisor's house. They played soccer all afternoon with the twins' friends and neighbors. Around dinner time, we received a call from Jack asking if it was okay if he stayed for dinner with the twins, with their parents' blessing, of course. Then later, he called to see if it was okay for him to spend the night. Oh, he's like besties with them, having a sleepover that easily. That's when you know it's like besties at first sight, you know? When you have a sleepover right away. Then on Sunday morning, they all went to community brunch. The twins had hockey practice, so my supervisor's husband, Henry, drove him back to our place. They had a manly discussion on their way about personal topics like grooming, not knowing who their father is, what it means to be mixed race. We didn't pry about what Henry told him, but Jack told us that Henry told him a lot of things that put him at ease with himself, and that for the first time in his life, he felt that he could simply be himself. My supervisor later called to tell me that Jack is a very polite and well-mannered young man, and he's welcome anytime he wants in their house. Before we drove Jack back home, we told him that it was his choice about telling his mom or not. Whatever he did, we would stand by his choice, and we are ready to accept the consequences. We said to contact us by any necessary means, and if he needs us, we will be there. I'm scared for mom's reaction on this one. It's not going to be pretty. I just know it. He decided to come clean to his mom. He told her that we told him the truth about his origins, that he spent the weekend with his new friends. He told her he was tired of being laughed at for pretending to be someone he isn't, and that it's not because he was half black and he likes hip hop that he would turn into someone or something she feared. He told her he would start growing his hair because he wants an afro, whether she likes it or not. Obviously, his mom blew a fuse, and we received a very angry call from her. She said that we were undermining her parental authority. She threatened to cut contact with us. My boyfriend tried to calm her down, but then she threatened to call the police. He got fed up and hung up and told her to call back when she has calmed down. She did call the police, and kudos to the officer who called us back. He just wanted to confirm that his sister wanted us both arrested and thrown in jail for telling our nephew about his bio dad's race. When we confirmed, he said that he would have a talk with her about the purpose of the police force and what making frivolous calls entails. Imagine receiving that phone call. He asked about the well-being of our nephew and told us he's going to pay them a little visit just to make sure everything's okay with him. He's got a file with CPS from a couple years ago because we made a complaint about his mom. So I guess they're being extra cautious. We called Jack to keep him up to date. He said his mom got very angry at him, so he ran next door to his grandparents' house. He explained the situation to them, and they wanted to talk to my boyfriend about it. They had a quick discussion about it, and they both agreed that Jack's mother was ridiculous about the whole situation. They've apologized to Jack about lying to him for all those years, and that they should have never let his mother do this. They also called their daughter and basically put her in timeout. Jack will spend the week with them so that she can think about what she did and the consequences of her actions. They will also talk with the police officer to assure him that Jack is safe at their house and that they are keeping their daughter in check. We're gonna see what the people of Reddit are saying now, but first, we're gonna hydrate. Drink your water. Cheers. I have the best friend, so I want to show you guys some other gifts that my girls have got me after getting engaged. My friend Megan got me these bride socks with the bow, and then this shirt. I have to show you the back. The front says going to the chapel. Look at all the little crown, the bow. Like, this could not be more me. So the front says going to the chapel, and then the back, hold on, this is hard to do with one hand, says gonna get married. Isn't that so freaking cute? Like, this is me in a gift. Someone commented and said, I feel very badly for your nephew. I wish you guys had spoken to the grandparents ahead of time and tried to get someone in the family to convince your boyfriend's sister to tell the boy the truth before someone else did. I'm not sure if an ultimatum like that would have worked on her, but one of the worst outcomes is someone other than his own mother telling him, and then telling him that his mom has not only been lying to him his whole life, but that she is also forcing everyone this young man loves and trusts to lie to him as well. I have no sympathy for the boy's mother whatsoever, but I can't help feeling there was a more sensitive solution to this than the one you chose. If you exhausted those options and attempted to resolve this another way, then I apologize for being so harsh. Okay, interesting. OP responded and said, we tried talking to the mom to no avail. We tried talking to the grandparents to help them reason their daughter, but they said that they would stick by their daughter. They only changed their minds when Jack himself told them and explained to them how bad he felt because he knew his mom was lying to him. Jack was absolutely sure of his origins. He just wanted confirmation from someone he trusted. Next comment. Did she pick him because she figured he wouldn't be part of her son's life? Either because he would go home or because he's black, or did she get pregnant by accident, or is she just nuts? OP said she definitely didn't get pregnant by accident. She had 2 miscarriages before Jack, and from what she told us, it was from the same guy. I think she picked him up because he was willing to have intimacy with her. I don't think he knew he ever fathered a child with her. Wild. Like, Jack could grow up and go to his dad if he ever finds out who, even if he went on his own path to find out who his dad is and contacted him. That's also going to be news for dad as well, being like, oh, I have a son that I didn't know about. Next comment. Wait, she's mentally challenged, or are you just joking around? Okay, it says OP in another comment made a comment about the sister-in-law being mentally challenged. OP said she was never properly diagnosed, but it's not too far-fetched of an assumption to make. She cannot drive. I saw her trying to learn in an empty parking lot, and you could just see the task was too complex for her to fully grasp. She tried at least 6 times to get her apprentice permit, but she never passed the theoretical exam. Whoa. Clearly I haven't taken an exam in a long time. She never got her high school diploma. When she was 18, they sent her to adult school, and her assessment test showed that her general knowledge level was around grade 6. Her reading and writing knowledge were lower than that. She struggled with basic additions and subtractions. She was able to get an equivalent diploma after 5 tries. She was nearly 30 at the time. As for work, she has never held a job for more than 3 months, and 3 months being an exceptional high. She worked at all the minimum wage places around here, fast food places, big box stores, house cleaning. She was fired from all her jobs for gross incompetency. For 10 plus jobs, it says. So yeah, I really believe she is somewhat mentally challenged. However, she's never had the help she needed because her parents refused to act and enabled her like crazy so that she wouldn't feel different. Also, keep in mind, I'm just reading this. I don't think the term mentally challenged is the proper terminology these days. So I'm just reading what's written here. These are not my words. You know what? I was just interested, so I'm Googling this. It says, and I don't know who's determining this, it says the most appropriate and accepted term is intellectual disability or intellectual and development disability. But I don't know who's deciding that. That's just what the internet's saying. But good to know. Good to know. I'm always trying to be respectful with everything I say. But this story does not stop there. We actually have a final update, so I'm curious how this settled or did not. The update came 11 days later. We are now at October 30th. Just a quick update about Jack's situation. I don't think I'll post more after this because in my opinion, the situation is pretty much resolved, okay? About the call his mom made to the police officer who called us paid her a visit. He then called us back to let us know that they obviously won't pursue her complaint against us. Jack called us to ask if he can come again for the weekend. During our discussion, he said his mom talked to him and told him that yes, His bio dad was black. He said she had a kind of, "are you happy you ruined everything now?" kind of attitude about it. She lifted the ban on hip hop music and black hairstyles, but very seriously told him it's gonna be our fault if he becomes troubled. Oh well, I guess we can live with this. On more serious matters, my boyfriend talked with dad this week. Oh my god, I thought you meant his was Jack's dad. No. Grandpa. They're gonna have Jack and his mom move in with them. Their house is literally next door, plenty big and paid for. Plus, they'll be able to keep an eye on them. Father-in-law hinted that the move was sparked by the fact that Jack's mom was having trouble paying rent and her bills again, and her decision to call the police over such trivial matters. My boyfriend took the opportunity to say that it was maybe time they had a serious family discussion about his sister's mental capacities, and he expressed his concerns about what will happen when her parents won't be around anymore. Father-in-law is starting to see the light. He said he's going to make an appointment with an attorney to see what can be done. But he expects mother-in-law to throw a crap storm over it. Finally, the biggest shock would be that we have learned that they are the legal guardians of Jack. Oh my gosh. Ever since we made the call to CPS 10-ish years ago. They never bothered telling us that little fact. So Jack lived with his mom, but it was his grandparents who had legal authority over him. Again, it shows how they tried to protect her again and again from the consequence of her own actions. We offered to have Jack over for the weekends and holidays if he wants. They were reluctant a bit, but they agreed on the condition that we have to pick him up on Friday after school and drive him back for Sunday evening. It is a 1-hour ride each way. Also, he is starting high school next year. We're going to offer his mom and grandparents, and him, obviously, to have him for the whole school year so he could attend high school in the city near our place. Jack has always shown an interest in learning a trade, and this school offers a program where high school students can try different trades and then transfer their credit when they graduate. I'm gonna leave soon to pick him up for another weekend in the city. Okay, this is overall a happier ending to the story, right? I would love to know an update. This was over 10 years ago. Can we imagine? Oh, he was starting high school. He could be married with children by now. Oh, my heart, right? Wait. Yes, he could be. Wait, how many years? Yeah, why not? So he'd be 23. I was a little far. You could be. He could be married with kids in his early 20s. Why not? I certainly wasn't, but my sister was. And my mom was. Crazy. Couldn't be me. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.